So we're just going to clean up these little cable clamps, these little belt clamps, and they're going to actually just sit on here and clamp the belt, and this will just mount on the base, underneath the base, the heat bed base. So I'm just going to clean the edges. I've got a deburring tool, which I use all the time for cleaning parts. It's safer than a knife. And we're just going to loosely fit these on. So we're going to mount these are 25mm M3s. So whack a washer on there.
Thank you very much for that.
No worries.
You don't have to tighten it up, so we're just going to loosely fit them. Just make sure your holes are cleared. Should have pre-drilled these.
Do you need to say how the nuts ended up in the block?
Oh, you didn't video that, did you? No. So we've got all the nuts already pressed in here. They're quite a tight squeeze. I think Scott ended up drilling part of the hole out.
So I drilled the top of the hole out, and then I used a little cigarette blowtorch lighter just to pull that nut in a very long bolt.
Yeah, so you had a very long M3.
And you have to be rather careful not to drill too deep or pull it in too deep.
Yeah. So he heated the nut, and then he pulled it in. Next job, we've got our little drawing here of the base, and we're going to measure into the centre of the board and mount that. I'm just going to use self-tapping screws to actually hold the board onto here, so the self-tappers will tap into these holes, and it'll mount on that side. So we're just going to measure that out next. Okay, so now we're going to mount the belt holder or belt clamp assembly. We're going to mount that to the centre of the bed, and we've got our measurements here. I have to adjust it because the beds are slightly different lengths. So we're going to basically put it in the middle of the board. So we're just going to measure in 150 in the top and the bottom. Let's put a couple of marks on there. Should do left and right, safer. Haven't got my square with me today. And then we're going to come in 141. Or the other way to do it is just to measure across, get your 300, mark the centre, and then move out 9mm on either side, because these holes are 18mm apart. So just centre that on 9mm, and mark left and right, 0 and 18. And then we're ready to drill. So now we're just going to drill the holes. M4.2 or 4mm drill. So you want to make sure the holes are reasonably parallel. Use a slightly bigger drill, so I've got a little bit of room to move. So we're just taking an M4 self-tapping screw. It's probably 15mm, something like that, or 16mm long. So we've got enough grip on the back, and we just mount it onto the bottom. Don't do it right up, just line your second screw up before you tighten it up. And just check the alignment. That's the next bit done. So the next trick is going to be to put the to mount the idler mount. This is on the back. This is the back of the printer. This is the idler that we prepared earlier. Thanks for that. So 4 screws. These are, I think, 40mm, 8 gauge, I think they are. Mounted around about there. Get approximately in the middle. Not important because you can move this around. You can also move this up and down later on to adjust it. So you've got this rod where you can move the pulley wheel left and right for alignment. But you do want to get it reasonably parallel with the back of the base. The other trick, or the other thing I needed to show you was we put spacers underneath just to get the height approximately right. So the belt will come out the back of this assembly and run over the back of the pulley. And you don't want too much height difference. You get a pencil, just mark the approximate positions. Take the spacers away. And we'll just measure to the back of the base just to make sure we get that parallel. So 30 mils. That's looking pretty good. And I'll just push that down and just mark the whole positions. And we're ready to drill. And we'll need a M3 drill for that. Cool. Now we're just going to drill these base holes. Now I've got a little mark on the drill bit just to give me a idea of depth. I don't want to go through the bottom. And then you can start mounting. So grab your 4 8 gauge 40mm screws, some washers. Start assembling it, so we'll put our washer on the top. I'm just going to start it off. So we're just going to line up the idler to come just to basically go smack bang in the middle of the bed clamp assembly. So just going to move it across so we can just move these nuts around until we get it lined up. It's looking pretty good. That's pretty much it. We'll just tighten up these, just lock it in place.